Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Lugia. Lugia obviously being an Uber's Pokemon, it has fantastic stats. Base 110 speed, so it's pretty fast. 154 in special defense, which is absolutely huge, meaning it can bulk out on most of those special attacks. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, from what I can remember, a lot more of the Uber's Pokemon are more physically orientated, but we do have base 130 defense anyways, that helps deal with that. And I suppose you have things like Lunala, which are a very common staple to have that special defensive front with. And then the HP, 106, and we've got base attack and special attack stats at base 90. Not the best, but we do get a very diverse moveset, which allows us to hit a lot of different Pokemon. Now, I've got 4 sets today, but before we get started, if you can scroll down, click that like button, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already, it would really help me out. So, Lugia. The most fantastic thing about Lugia is the fact that it has multi-scale as an ability. So if it's full HP, any damage it takes will be halved, which is absolutely fantastic because that allows you to potentially set things up if you're going for like a Calm Mind style set, or even I believe Agility is an option as well. Maybe not Agility is an option, but if you want to set up a Calm Mind, for example, turn 1, that allows you to do that and not take as much damage. You can also run Roost, or Recover on Lugia as well, and that will allow you to heal yourself back up to get that multi-scale intact, so it can work very nicely with you there. The other ability is Pressure. Now, you're probably always going to want to run multi-scale. Pressure is more situational and it relies on you being able to, 1, hit them to live several attacks, and 2, it requires you to be able to live very powerful attacks as well that have low PP. Because typically, the ones that Pressure is going to affect are going to be the 5 base PP moves, which honestly are very powerful, and you're unlikely to live 4 of them because people probably will max it out to 8 PP there. So Pressure is very situational, it's very more difficult to use, but you can definitely take advantage of the multi-scale instead. This first set, I've got Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf allows you to get 1.5 times in your speed, which will allow you to outspeed the majority of Pokemon, because base 110 speed is really good, whilst in Ubers, though, it is standard. So it's not the fastest thing that you will see. So chucking a Choice Scarf on it can definitely allow for you to be able to get that upper hand with getting that damage. Attack-wise, I've gone for Aeroblast. Aeroblast is a fantastic move, 100 base power, boosted by Stab. It has got the chance to miss, but that's only 1 in 20, so it's not too bad. And it has got a high critical hit ratio as well. Dragon Pulse, because honestly there are a lot of Dragon types in Ubers. Earth Power, again, there's a lot of Steel types in Ubers as well. So having the Dragon Pulse and the Earth Power allows you to have a bit of coverage to hit a variety of Pokemon. And I've put Giga Drain on here just to allow you to get that option to recover some health on there. You can always put something like Psychic or Psyshock on there if you want to go on the defense rather than the special defense. Those are options for you to run as an alternative. EVs, now there are 2 ways of running this. You can run this as max special attack, max speed with a timid nature, so more speed, less attack, or you can go for the modest nature, so more special attack and less attack. I would potentially consider going more for the special attack rather than the speed in this case, because honestly base 90 in special attack, whilst it's okay in the main game, is actually a little bit lackluster in the Uber's front, especially when you're looking at things like Lugia's defensive stats, and there are a lot of Pokemon that have somewhat similar defensive stats as well. I will say that Lugia typically does work more as a support Pokemon, but you can use it as a physical front as well. Speaking of more of a support Pokemon, we have got a supportive Lugia here. Now I have put Toxic on this. You do not have to run Toxic by any means. Obviously it's a transfer only move, so it is more difficult to be able to get hold of, but you can run things like Thunder Wave if you wanted to instead, or even Trick to get different items on your Pokemon. Or on another Pokemon, for example. But those are some options that you could definitely run there. So on here, Leftovers and Multiscale again. As I said, Multiscale you're going to use probably all the time. Leftovers to get that little bit of health back every turn, especially if you only take a little bit of damage. That Leftovers might be able to get you back to Multiscale on that turn. Toxic or Thunder Wave. Toxic allows you to rack up damage on the different Pokemon. Thunder Wave allows you to slow down Pokemon, which can be really handy, especially when Lugia is quite a slow Pokemon in itself. And compared to some other people in Ubers, or Pokemon in Ubers, we have Recover to allow you to get that heal off because, as I said, keeping that multi-scale is really important. Tailwind to double the speed of your team, and that allows you to obviously switch into something else and get that upward momentum, especially if it's a slower Pokemon. And then we've got Air Slash as a powerful flying type attack that hits a lot of different things. You could also go for a Psychic type move if you wanted to, but it's entirely up to you. Now you can always run Defog on this set instead of the Thunder Wave / Toxic scenario, because Defog, getting rid of rocks, obviously is going to be a pretty important thing, especially with things like Groudons around that will set up the Stealth Rocks quite frequently. EVs, there are a few ways of running this. You could go max HP, max speed with a Timid nature, so more speed, less attack, and this allows you to be as fast as possible to set up that Tailwind or to set up that Defog, or to Thunder Wave, for example. Or you could run this as max HP, max special defense, or max HP, max defense. You would run that with the respective nature. I believe it would be Careful and Bold natures. So Bold would be on the defense, plus defense minus attack, and I can never remember if it's Calm nature. So it's Calm nature with the max special defense if you wanted to go for that. As I said, it can be quite difficult to plan for these things because there's a lot of more physical Pokemon, but there are still a couple of threats that are on the special side, thinking things like Lunala, Mewtwo, stuff like that. Moving on to the third Lugia, we have got, again, another support set, and on this, we've got Roost to allow us to heal up. Now, I would say, personally, Recover could work slightly better, but Roost can definitely work as well, especially if you're going to get hit by an Electric type, or an Ice type, or a Rock type attack, which you are weak to. If you've Roosted that turn already, that would allow for you to be able to heal your health up, and also not take as much damage because you get rid of your Flying type for that turn. Thunder Wave allows you to slow down the Pokemon. As I said, it can be really helpful for you and your team, especially if you're running a bit of a slower team. Defog gets rid of any hazards. Hazards are a massive pain in the backside. And Psychic as an attacking move. Again, you can go for a variety of attacking moves, things like Blizzard, things like Dragon Pulse, things like Earth Power, which are all really good support moves that you could chuck on this set and replace for other things as well. EVs, max HP, max speed. Again, you can go for the max HP, max special defense, or max HP, max defense. You can go for any of those three variants. It depends on what you're planning for and what your team is already looking like. For example, if you already have a lot of fast Pokemon in your team, you might want to go for more of a defensive front. If you've got a lot of special defense bulk already in there, you might want to go for a physically defensive bulk. So it just depends what you're pairing Lugia with. Moving on to the final Lugia, I've got a bit more of a kind of potential Dynamax set. On here I've put the Choice Specs. Choice Specs allows you to get 1.5 times in your special attack, but you do get locked into a move. It is possible to Dynamax with this. You can go for Earth Power, which turns to Max Quake, increasing up your special defense. Blizzard will set up the heal, which will dwindle the HP of the opposing Pokemon. And you've also got Aeroblast to turn into Max Airstream to increase up your speed by one stage, and even Psychic can set up the Psychic terrain if you need that for any reason, preventing things like priority or just having the ability to have a Psychic terrain in the field, which you might need it for a Steel Roller user, for example. This can also be used out of Dynamax, so you've got 4 really powerful moves there. If you're going for the Blizzard, I recommend possibly replacing that with something different, maybe Dragon Pulse. I think it learns even Ice Beam as well. Let me just double check that because I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. It does like Ice Beam, so you can use Ice Beam as an alternative there for Lugia. And EVs, I've gone for max HP, max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. This would allow for you to be able to live a few hits, and if you're setting up your speed with the max Airstreams as well, that doesn't really matter on your speed front because you're probably going to outspeed the majority of the Pokemon after 1, maybe 2. So that's my ideas for Lugia. You could also run things like screen sets, so light play with screens and 2 attacking moves. You could potentially run those support sets, as I said, or you could run a hybrid set of kind of an attacking and support set. But anyways, that is all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.